People of Earth, who got mit you?
And other planets.
My name is Al. Across the table from me is Joe. Together, we have a podcast called Kinda Right. And if you're listening for more than the first time, thank you.
And if it's
the first time, welcome.
and it's not about right-wing shit, we don't give a fuck about that.
Even though it's conservative talk for some reason. But
It's not really. It's not conservative.
I know, but
We're
that's a
very
hashtag
liberal.
we're under.
We love abortion.
Abortion's great.
We love abortion. We have no problem with fags getting married.
Yeah, gay marriage is fine. I don't even
I have an
consider it an
argument.
issue.
I have an argument.
You have
a legal argument.
You have a good argument.
But personally, I don't
It just
fucking
doesn't
care.
fucking matter.
You can fuck your buddy in the ass as much as you want.
Right. And as far as abortion goes, everybody fucking calm down. The Supreme Court already fucking decided about abortion. It's never going to be revisited. That's not what happens.
That's not true, though.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, but you're.
It's not going to happen in our lifetime. This guy is a qualified judge.
You are.
Go ahead.
What you're doing is
They have more important things.
You're way out of your comfort zone. You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
And neither do I, quite frankly.
All right.
But I know
I'm allowed to
that
have
it
an
can be-
opinion.
You
and
can
make-
have an opinion
and make a prediction.
You can have an opinion and make a prediction,
Yeah.
and you can say it's never going to happen. But that sounds like a declarative statement rather than an opinion.
I know it's right. I sound like an imbecile. Oh well, guess what? I'm not all that bright.
The point is that one of these conservative states will probably make it illegal to have abortion. They will do something in their state, and that will immediately
Start the fucking machine.
start the ball rolling.
Right, it'll start grinding. I got you.
So
Which state you think?
I don't know, but
Utah,
it'll be a
Texas,
southern state.
Virginia?
It'll be a red state
Yeah, Tennessee,
somewhere,
something.
and
Don't they have other things to fucking worry about? It's ridiculous.
well, you got to remember the people. Other than like the Westboro Baptist Church guy who's fucking dead, because I mean I really think they're evil. But if you believe that abortion is murdering a child, then of course you're going to be passionate about it.
I guess.
You know? And that's what they believe. They believe that life begins at conception. And so, I mean,
Maybe
I don't
I'm
know.
just
It's
not,
like,
maybe I'm just not passionate about anything.
I'm not
I
passionate.
can't find my.
I
I do not passionately believe you should be. I don't. I'm not either way on the passionate thing. I just think it's a non-issue
I
in
honestly
today's
don't.
society, in this world today.
I don't believe human life
with
is all
$7
that
billion
valuable, quite frankly.
Well, I mean, if you
I really don't. I don't.
just talk
I don't
to an
think we should be
actuary,
murdering
any
anybody.
actuary will tell you a human life's worth nothing.
I think there's a lot of people that are around today that probably should be killed, and I'm not talking about retards. I'm talking about just evil fucks that should be rounded up and fucking executed.
Yeah, most of you people who vote the Democratic ticket, by the way.
Well, and
all
a lot of you.
We'll start with you.
A lot of the fucking.
How about a little variety in your life, like eat an empanada once in a while?
But a lot
Vote
of
for
those
a Republican once in a
greedy fucking, let's make all the poor people suffer so I can have a bigger fucking boat. All those people should be rounded up, and not the wildly inventive people, the people that are just
while. Money grabbing hoes.
money grubbing fucking scum.
Yeah, I don't.
Wall Street maggot fucking just all they think about is how much money they have.
Yeah, I don't have that in
They
me
talk
either, man.
about money.
Yeah.
The whole thing is money. I think they should be fucking executed.
Yeah.
And I would do it. I haven't killed anybody to date. But I fucking know that I could kill somebody and not even lose it. I just know this about myself.
You wouldn't feel that
I put
bad
my
about.
own fucking dog down. And
Did you put multiple animals down, dude?
no,
Well, maybe that wasn't you.
no.
But it's somebody else I know.
But I'm not talking about shooting a deer. I'm talking about killing something that I loved.
Yeah,
you know? So if I can do that, I can kill some greedy asshole fuck.
Right.
And I'm not saying I'm going to do this to anybody that's law enforcement that's listening. Any of you, three of you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just I don't see the value, and also I don't like the hypocrisy. You send kids overseas.
The hypocrisy is maddening.
Blow up fucking a whole village of fucking Afghanis, and then you come home and some fucking collection agent calls the fucking guy that was just over shooting people, and he goes over and kills the collection agent. I think collection agencies should be blown up, and the people inside should be killed.
Well, I mean, I'm not with you on the should be killed thing.
Credit card companies should be fucked over and killed a lot, because it's a predatory. Whether you say,
doesn't the government get a slice of that though?
Well, of course they do. They get profit sharing. Government gets profit sharing. Well, we're supposed to be the government for one.
Yeah,
but we're not.
Right.
We're not in the 5 million people that have security clearance.
Right.
Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
that's why guns should never be taken away. And everybody says, "Well, you don't. What are you going to start a war with the government with your little gun?" They've got tanks and
but
believe me, you can do a lot of damage.
Manpower.
You could do a lot of damage if you just showed up with the element of surprise, and fucking blasted into the Pentagon and started shooting people, which I highly recommend. If you're out there and you're fucking crazy, and you're thinking of something to do, and you get some pals and you get some fucking high-powered weaponry that you can make automatic, go into the Pentagon and start killing them fuckers. And the NSA and CIA too.
Wow, you don't like any of them guys?
No,
huh?
I just they're fucking scum.
Yeah,
I've watched these. They're fucking scum. I mean, everything's you're a patriot. They get this fucking John Brennan. Somebody shares my last name.
Right.
He's a cocksucker. He should be fucking executed.
Yeah,
and they're all hypocrites.
I just wrote that down. Hypocrites should be killed. That's this opening segment.
Any hypocrite, especially when they're they're in charge of important things, should be fucking killed. When it's life and death, and they on one side of them they're fucking authorizing the killing of multiple tens, hundreds of people, and then every life is precious. Well, no, it's not. It's one or the other.
I try not to be a hypocrite because I think it's bad. I think it's a really bad trait in people.
Well, everybody's got some.
But if you're a human, that's called being human. But I caught myself being a hypocrite the other night. Tell me if this is hypocrisy. And I know I'm going in another direction, but what the fuck, right?
No, you can go any direction
fucking,
you want.
I found the woman who married Kat and I, who was, performed the solemnization. We bought her the license for the day and, went through all the steps.
Right.
This is a friend of hers called Samantha, and I've known her since I first met Kat. And we're very fond of her. She's also another big bitch who lost a lot of weight. She was like huge. She's like 6 foot tall. And
really?
She was probably almost $4 bills. And now she looks like a skinny, normal person. She lost like 250 pounds.
Now, did she get the operation?
Yeah. She had the operation that Kat had, but a year before Kat had it, or a year and a half before Kat had it. Anyway, she's on the younger side. I think she's like 28.
Hey, were you here swimming, by the way, yesterday? Did you guys ever make it?
Yeah, we came back.
All right. I didn't hear anybody outside, so.
Can I tell you my hypocrite story?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ. I was almost there.
What a cunt, huh?
Yeah, you're awful. You do that all the time.
You know what? I got all kinds of energy.
I don't get mad. I know you want to talk, but guess what? I do
too. You know
too.
why? Because I watch television all day.
Oh, good for you. Listen, tell me if this is hypocritical. She has dating woes, but she's fond of married men.
Fond of married men.
Yeah, and I told her to stay away from married men.
Now, does it just happen to... Is it the is it the excitement of getting a guy to cheat on his wife?
I don't know.
Or is it just that she just finds married men more desirable?
I don't know. I don't know what to say. But yeah, we came over and took a swim, and
Good.
it was very
I'm
good.
glad somebody uses this pool before I'm going to build a deck over it. I told you.
Are you going to fill it and build a deck over
No,
it?
no.
Just build a
I'm going
deck
to
over
use.
it.
It's going to be my
be
cistern of rainwater that I use to
Oh,
water all
Irrigate.
kinds of shit
irrigate
that
some
I got
shit.
on the back 40 that I have here.
Hey, it was a fucking busy week for the boss, by the way. We were talking about Kavanaugh. First of all, by the boss, I mean the Donald J. Trump, the greatest president in the history of the United States of America. He makes
Yes, he
fucking
is.
Lincoln look like a fucking piker. He makes
Lincoln's got nothing over.
he
Trump.
makes Kennedy look like a empty bullet-riddled skull.
Well, he's probably got about the same moral character as any one of the Kennedys.
He makes Reagan look like a functioning retard.
Actually, that's not true. He's probably got more moral character than any of the Kennedys.
way more. He makes Ronald Reagan look like a functioning retard. That's how great Donald J. Trump is. And Reagan was a good president, in my opinion.
Well, Reagan was retarded, though.
Yeah.
Reagan had a set of core beliefs,
Yeah.
but I believe he was dumb as a stump.
I'm with you on that one. He was an actor. All
Yeah,
right?
you can act up a storm.
And people say, oh, well, Trump's a fuck. People don't get it about Donald Trump. Or it's the liberal thing where they just lie. It's just another
no,
example.
they lie.
They will just say or do anything to forward whatever fucking. They'll just say anything. Well, guess what? Donald Trump accomplished more before he was a TV reality fucking show guy.
Trump accomplished more in a week than I ever accomplished in my life.
He makes fucking.
So-
He's exposed Barack Obama as the absolute worst president in the history of the United States. That's how great Donald J. Trump is.
Yeah, and one of the most divisive now.
He makes
Because when Obama began, from the time he began to the time he ended, in 8 years, this country went from, mildly divided to everyone's a fucking racist.
right.
I mean, if you just say, I saw a black person go into the bathroom yesterday. Oh, you're a fucking racist.
Yeah, well, it's racial, man. Why's it always got to be a black guy, man? You know what I mean?
It's just everything's fucking racist. Speaking of racism, do you know who Ezra Klein is?
Remind me.
Ezra Klein is a cunt. He's a 34-year-old man.
He sounds like a money grubbing heave, is he?
I don't know whether he's Jewish. I don't know. Ezra, maybe he's
Ezra
Jewish.
Klein.
He founded Vox, the news site.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen Vox?
I've stumbled upon it once or twice.
And I don't think he's.
I don't frequent it.
But
I might click a link that goes
there is a
there.
guy named Charles Murray. And Charles Murray and another guy wrote a book back in the early 90s called The Bell Curve.
Okay.
Remember that book?
I do not, Joe. Clue me in.
Well, The Bell Curve was a book that I didn't read. It was 800 pages long, so me to pretend that I know it. But somewhere in that book, basically, there was a comparison for at the time of the intelligence of various people in our country, groups, and African Americans didn't do very well in that group. You follow what I'm saying? And it was very controversial. And I remember it. I remember it back then. And Sam Harris, who is the podcaster / he's a neural scientist or something, and a proclaimed atheist,
Okay.
has a podcast called Waking Up. And he had this guy on. And it was a very scientific, intellectual study, or intellectual 2 hours. And Ezra Klein and various others said that Sam Harris is a fucking racist.
Well, of course.
Because they're talking about, and a lot of it was talking about, Charles Murray's Charles Murray was being questioned by Sam Harris about how he derived the numbers, and it was a very sophisticated conversation about shit that I don't know about. I mean, well, I did regression analysis this way and this way and this way, and then I did it again, and I said, well, let's try make sure the data set is correct, and this was information that was gone over, and this is why it's racist. Because there's no need for that type of... There's no need to know that.
Is that what Ezra Klein said?
Yes.
That's what he... Because he had asshole.
There's no need. So listen to this, people. There's fucking no need to have any scientific data if it's going to make someone feel bad or make a group feel bad. Can you fucking believe we're at this point?
Yes.
I mean, think of that. I know it doesn't sound like much, but we don't need to know that scientific information because that could hurt somebody's feelings.
It's all because of public employee unions, Joe, specifically the teachers' union.
You know what I found out?
That's what it is.
I couldn't believe it. I was listening to Jim Jeffries. It was an old podcast he did with Joe Rogan. There are 5 stagehands at Carnegie Hall that are permanent employees of Carnegie Hall, and their children can get those jobs.
Wow, legacy jobs.
They make an average of over what the president makes, over $400,000 a year. These are stagehands.
Yeah.
And they're in a union.
Well, of course they are.
And they went on strike. There's 5 of them, but they were backed up by the union that they're part of.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think not all, that's not a public employee union, but not all unions should be killed, or union people. A lot of them should be killed.
Yeah, and that's...
Starting with, the first one that should be killed is Randy Weingarten, the teachers fucking union, who believes that you ought to run a school union just like you run a fucking automobile union, meaning seniority matters. So you fire the fucking young, smart teacher who wants to teach kids, and you keep the fucking old hag on that's been phoning it in for the last 20 fucking years.
We all had them in high school. Usually it was men more than women, but the old guys were just useless, most of them. They were fools.
Nah, I had some old history cunt. She was fucking useless.
Was she?
Yeah, she just sat in a chair, and I think she shit herself in some sort of a diaper back then.
I actually had college professors like that, just guys who were around forever at UMass. These are English guys.
Phone it in. You know who
one of them literally could not stop drooling on himself. Literally.
I was looking at college stuff.
He didn't make the whole
One of the reasons they're not paying the professors all that much more. It's all the shit stacked up on top. It's all the, especially in public, like UMass college system is fucking just stacked to the rafters with all kinds of chancellors and
right.
You know who runs UMass? The head of UMass is Marty Meehan.
Oh, I thought he was. Because he started at UMass Lowell after he stopped his congressmanhood. But is he now the guy for the whole system now?
I believe he is $700,000 a year. This is the fucking cunt that went on and said, I'm going to run. He ran for Congress, I believe.
Didn't Bill Bulger have that job for a little while?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
another crook.
Oh,
He's going to run for Congress for 2 terms just to get in there and do a good job. And then after he was running for his 3rd term, and he said, well, everybody's asking him, well, what about the 2 terms and you're out thing? Well, I'm going to let the people decide.
Right.
And, of course, I don't know. They voted him back. It's just, what a fucking swill hole.
Yeah.
It really is. I would love to see Marty Meehan, his whole family, fucking raped. Not killed. Just like rape so bad that
rape, not like
no, ass raped. Yeah. I want to see him rape so fucking bad. None of them can take a shit again correctly. Meaning they have to have like some sort of medical assistance.
Right.
They have to have some sort of a surgery, maybe like a fucking flap hooked onto a cable that they
just
can
a
pull up and
colostomy
then
bag or whatever.
something where they just fucked so bad that their
rectum no longer functions.
yeah, him and his whole family. What a fucking scum.
It's the trough.
Absolute
It's a trough.
fucking scum.
A head scum bag rest was out there. How did they get them Kavanaugh signs made so quickly? They were out with them. Did you watch the boss announce it? I actually watched it in bed.
No.
By the way, he left there. I was talking about his busy week. You know where he went from there? He's on a NATO tour. England, Belgium. He's gonna meet Putin. He's all over the place.
There's Marty.
The boss is having a good week, by the way. I think he picked the best player available.
I'm sure Marty Meehan was the best fucking person available
Oh, you're talking about still the UMass thing.
to be the president of the University of Massachusetts.
I mean,
I'm sure he was, after a nationwide search.
yeah, right.
This fucking lying, low-life cocksucker is somehow the fucking best we're going to be able to get.
He's a lawyer too. They're all lawyers, man. It's just
Yeah, this scum. You know what they
just the
do in
word.
law school? They teach you how to be a
This
fucking
crook.
scumbag.
scumbag. Yep.
They teach you that it's okay to be a lying, low-life, reprehensible fucking
nugget.
scumbag.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you,
And yes, if you're a lawyer, you're a scumbag.
I'm telling you, and I know this, and I'm going to make it declarative. There is a God, and you will be judged. And Marty Meehan is going to have fucking. He's going to have to answer.
So you not only believe in God, you believe in a God that judges you in the afterlife.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Do you really? I don't believe that.
Your life
part.
is looked at.
I'm more.
I don't believe in a hell, though.
I'm willing to admit there's a God, but I don't think there's I'm pretty sure when you're done, you're done. There's
My
no
honey's
afterlife. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure that was a made-up story to make people behave.
No.
You know?
Nope. It's there's a God, and there's a place you go when you die.
Oh my God!
I don't know what it is.
I think you're just saying
keeping
this
it very,
to
very
fuck with me.
vague. And you will be judged.
Well,
I'm telling you.
That's good, Joe. I'm glad you.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Not at all.
You don't think there's anything to it?
No, not
You
at
don't
all.
think there's any supernatural
No,
stuff?
I've never seen a ghost, and I don't know anyone who has seen a ghost. I know people who think they saw a ghost,
Okay.
and I laughed at them. And,
So you don't think there's anything outside? You think it's all bullshit?
Yeah, there's no.
I mean,
like,
you can walk people in
ethereal
here that,
shit.
that are the most wildly rational people in the world
Yeah.
that have seen like, oh yeah, that's Louise. She shows up fucking. I was the janitor at this building for 37 years, and Louise showed up every Tuesday.
What they are is mentally ill. That's what they are.
No.
They're mentally ill.
Well, you can say that.
Yeah.
But
That's what they
there's
are.
so many stories of it.
They are by definition schizophrenic.
There's so many stories of it.
Yeah, there's
But
not that many stories of it. I've heard one or
there's
two.
tons of them. There's tons of them.
Maybe I don't know that many people. Maybe I've led a sheltered life.
No, I don't know. I don't know a single person.
Well, of course you don't, because there's no
I
such
watch
thing
it on
as
TV.
ghosts. What?
I see this stuff on television.
See, what do you see on television, Joe?
Ghosts.
Oh, you mean
Fucking retard. I'm talking
I'm not
about.
a retard.
I watch shows in which this is the guy that was the janitor of this building, and it's fucking. Old Haunted Mary came out on the third floor hallway every Tuesday,
No.
and floated around for a while,
So it
and
was
then screwed.
And he got no pictures or any of that shit or video. I mean, it's kind of like an instant fucking.
Are you saying it's
news
like
and-
Bigfoot, where the only thing is they have that footage of a guy in a
Loch
fucking
Ness monster,
Well,
God,
they've admitted that that's all bullshit.
aliens, the afterlife. It's
Well,
all
the
the same
aliens,
bullshit.
For
It's
a
mental
non-God
illness is
belief-
what it is.
For a true, I know you're agnostic. You're not an atheist, because atheists is just by definition cunts.
Right.
Because what are you going to do? Have a meeting and say, what else don't we believe in?
Right.
But I just think it's a
Most true libertarians are true agnostics, by the way. They don't want to be weighed down. They don't want to be weighed down by the government or like religion.
You know what the deal is? Logic, and I don't even want to put it into the frame of religion. I just believe that there's a God, and I believe that there is. I believe that there is a karmic bank. I don't think you can get away with doing fucking bad all the time, and you get away with it. I gotta believe there's a scorekeeper somewhere, and there's enough. I dare say there's enough religious writing about you're gonna get fucked if you're a bad person, including bad people that tell you you're gonna get fucked if you're a bad person. They're gonna get fucked too. Probably harder than the people that actually are just bad.
Oh, what do you mean the evangelicals?
Yeah, like, well, if you're fucking if you're a priest fucking kids.
That's probably why fucking the Buddhists probably got it the most right. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of devout Buddhists who are on TV raking in millions of dollars from their followers. You know what I mean? That's why Christianity is
told
bullshit.
me this morning that I deserve to have a $8 million house, and who am I?
It all started with the
Catholic Church. Who am I to say that God is wrong?
All the other Christian
so
groups.
If you have any money, you send me.
All the other Christian groups broke off from the Catholic Church. And the Catholic Church was started by dudes who knew that they were onto making some fucking money from this.
No, the Catholic
Church. It's all about money.
The Catholic Church, the Protestant Church, which in all subsequent Christian religions was broken from the Catholic Church because Henry VIII wanted to get fucking divorced.
Right.
And the Catholics said, no way. So he started the Church of England, which was the first Protestant church.
Was it Martin Luther before that? I don't know.
I don't even know if it's Henry VIII.
It is Henry VIII. I am.
Hey.
Henry VIII.
Hit pause for a second.
Henry VIII. I am. Henry VIII. I am. Henry VIII. I am. So, yeah. Bald tires are not good.
Yeah. My wife got a flat on the way home from work today.
And it was her fault.
And
most flat tires are the fault of the operator.
Well, no. Well, yesterday, Wild Bill has his truck that he lost a brake line. Okay. So he brought it to a garage. And they fixed the fucking brake line. So and that required taking off both front wheels. So you would think if he was at a garage, they'd say, "Oh, by the way, your fucking brakes are junk."
Yeah, right.
Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he lost his brakes. One of the rubber brake lines broke. So it was hot yesterday up here. Got to be like in the 90s.
91 was yesterday.
So I
but
know
humid as a fuck.
I know how to do pretty much anything on a car if I have to. I don't want to. And I used to do people's brakes and shit just for, out of courtesy or because I liked them. I've given that up because I don't want to do it anymore. But
you got some money in the karmic bank, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it.
Right.
But first of all, so Bill bought brake pads and rotors and brought them here. And I said, I'll tell you how to do it. You can use my tools. I don't want to fucking do it. Well, whoever put the wheels back on, they went and they put the lug nuts on so tight that he stripped one of the outside so you couldn't take it on. So there's nothing like using a fucking torch when it's 92 degrees and humid.
Right.
And the sun's beating on you. So, at any rate, long story short, I had to help him at several places and be outside getting fucking burned. So, I got a little heat stroke yesterday from.
Yeah,
doing that.
you kept reading the same line over and over. You said, "I've been there. I know what you're talking
Reminds me,
about."
I don't think I turned my bottles of gas off.
Oh no!
That could be meaning I'm losing gas as we speak,
Or you've lost it,
or it's all gone.
Yeah. May not be losing
Whole
shit as we
tank of
speak.
oxygen is fucking gone.
Well, what are you gonna do, man?
But at any rate, we got his brakes back on.
And
But I don't understand. Why wouldn't you try to make a little more money for yourself? You look at the guys. Two pads came off on both sides that were worn. It had been riding on the. Well, and I look at Bill and I say, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I mean, it's got to be grinding like a whore.
Yeah,
you
right.
got metal on two rotors, and so you didn't think to ask them, and they didn't tell you. And all you got to do is take the tire off, which they did because they put the fucking wheels on, so the lug nuts on. They just go with the impact gun, and they just think that, oh yeah, we'll just go until it stops spinning. So they're torqued to 450 pounds.
right.
So you need like a 17-foot fucking breaker bar to undo the bolt. So I don't know. I don't get it. Maybe they just didn't care. It all comes down to most people don't fucking care. If it's not their family or,
I would say
that
that's better than the other extreme, which is the garage that goes out of its way to work on your car when it might not need that work.
Yeah, true.
There's plenty of guys who are in the middle, you know what I mean, who are just honest guys making a living, you know what I mean? But there are places that just... It seems like mechanics get a bad rap. I think I don't know why, but it seems like one of those rackets where if you're a bad person like we've been talking about, that you get the opportunity to soak some people who might not otherwise realize they're being soaked,
Well, Wayno up the street used to work at they just, if you want to be a mechanic and you want to rate people and not even feel bad about it, what you want to do is work on foreign cars.
Right.
And that way people are bringing you Volvo and Mercedes and, so fucking those people over, you just bought the V12 $300,000 fucking Mercedes something or other. And, instead of the normal $5,000 brake job, they give you the $9,000 brake job.
Right.
Well, you know what? Either way, you can probably afford it, and you probably deserve it because you're a moron. If you buy a $300,000 car, and if you're into cars, look, Jay Leno, he looks like he's having a hell of a time, doesn't he?
Yeah, him and Jerry.
And he gets in there and he loves fucking around with him. He loves it. He loves the whole
That's his
process
thing.
of it.
Yeah.
He's not out buying. He doesn't buy these cars. And I guess this is my judgment. This is not, because if you want to impress your friends with a car, although I say if you have anybody that is impressed with anything that you have, cars,
Get rid of them.
houses,
Get them out of your life. Run. Run for the hills.
No, you don't have to just remember, when the shit hits the fan, they will fucking never be there for you.
Right.
They will be so fucking down the road. What do you mean, Jim? I'm so sorry. You had to go bankrupt? You're going to have to sell the house? Oh, well, if there's anything Henry and I can do, and she be out the fucking door and they're gone.
Nice knowing
Those people are fucking gone. And if you don't realize that, but if that's what you want to do, if you want to live in the big house and, have the expensive cars and, that's what's important to you, then I guess, so be it. To each his own.
Yeah.
But if you buy, I don't know. I've been in a Bentley, and didn't your father used to drive one every once in a while?
One of his doctors has a Bentley, and he
Yeah.
chauffeured the guy once in a while when
The
he
guy
needed.
that went to jail.
Oh, he went to jail?
He's a
Dr.
urologist.
R. I didn't know he went to jail. What did he go to jail for?
He went to jail because he was he was selling sample pain medication to his patients.
I mean, no wonder he could afford a fucking chauffeur. A Bentley.
That's right. I forgot about that.
I didn't know that.
Doctor, we can't say his
R.
name.
Next
But,
time Dad's in, we'll have to ask him about Dr. R.
He was a
He was a character.
he was a real character, and I went in when I was having kidney stone. I mean, this is my 20s. So the guy, he must be fairly old right about now. Or at least 15 years older than me. You know, he's got to be 70.
Yeah. He's not as old. He's a little younger than my dad. A little younger.
Because when I went, he was like, he had pictures of race cars up on the wall and shit like that. I think he was a car guy.
Yeah. Well, apparently.
But he liked to be chauffeured around in it. He bought a Bentley, and he'd like to be chauffeured around in that. And that, I don't know. Maybe so he could fuck people in the back seat. Who knows?
think there
Your
was-
old man would never divulge.
No, he divulged a little. I believe that's a little bit of that was going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? He'd go pick up, well, he'd go to the doctor, leave his own car there. They'd pull the Bentley out. And no, that's not what my father calls his cock. They pull the car out. And
That's what the doctor called this.
right. And then they go pick up a lady. And he'd fucking drive them around Boston or whatever for the night or wherever they were doing.
But you know what? I'm not judgmental. If you like cars, like Jay Leno fucking loves cars.
Yeah.
He has a Chrysler. I didn't even know they made this. Chrysler made a fucking turbine-powered car. I'm pretty sure it was Chrysler. And who was I watching? I was watching some show, and he's got one, and there was going to be 65 made, and the fucking plant burned down after 35 were made, and he got one of the 35, and there's like 5 running in existence.
Right.
But it was a turbine-powered car. They tried that for a while. And the cool thing is that Jay, and I forget the brand, but the very first, before Henry Ford, very first automobiles were electric. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Well, I didn't know it either until I watched something on Jay. Well, I kind of did know it, but he's got one of the original electric cars. It was it looks like a fucking carriage that you would hook horses up to,
Right.
except that there's no leather shit to hook the horses up to.
Right.
And it's got an electric engine in it, and the batteries weren't all that hot back then, but electric, because it's simple. Electric motors were around for a long time, and DC electric motors were certainly around for a long time. I think Edison had first DC electric motors like in the, 1870s, something like that.
Yeah. I don't know anything about the history of that.
Me neither.
I should.
I'm lying when I say 1870.
I have no idea.
But
I should know.
Some of
but
the first,
I'm
very
getting old,
first
stoned.
automobiles were electric.
I didn't know that, by the way, at all.
Well, did you know that? Here's another little.
Did anyone run their house on batteries? Back
No.
then?
I don't think anybody had electric. Like very few people had. See, it's all about the timing. Edison.
What do you mean? It's all about the timing.
Meaning, I don't know what the dates are.
Oh yeah,
But
I don't
there was
either. I should.
Edison went. There was a big thing with Edison when electricity became popular. And there was a fight between George Westinghouse and Thomas Edison. And now you got to remember, Thomas Edison was probably the Steve Jobs of the of then. And I'm trying to get, just because it bothers me that I don't know this, I'm trying to get some date range.
Meaning he was an innovator, but he was also a businessman.
He was a businessman and he was a fucking prick. And that's-
Apparently, yeah.
a lot of people don't understand this about Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was an absolute fucking visionary. And we were talking about CEOs and shit
Yeah.
here. And I mean, Steve Jobs was obviously Steve Jobs was a good businessman. I don't know whether he's a businessman by default or just by happenstance or because he surrounded himself with the right people.
Well, I mean, Edison...
He was certainly a visionary, and he knew who to surround himself with so that he could bring Apple, and I don't know whether, because I don't follow it, I don't know whether Apple is still the highest valued company in the world, but it was.
It was briefly, at least, for a little while.
And when Steve Jobs...
Exxon or whatever, but...
When Steve Jobs came in, that company that was run by Scully was almost fucking dead. I mean, literally almost dead. Like Apple was gonna go out of business.
Right.
Edison was born in 1847. So
Right.
57, 67. So around 1870, I guess, probably in your 20s. Most people who do anything of value in the world do so in their 20s.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because after 20, you're like sort of, I think I'll just fucking, mail it in and have a few kids and fuck it.
Right.
You're kind of, I know that sounds unfair because I think there's people in their 50s that can probably do wonderful things, but the stats sort of prove out that, after your 20s, you're probably not going to invent anything that matters.
Right.
Or do anything that matters. And I mean, when I say matters, I mean, world-changing type shit.
Yeah, for the betterment of mankind.
Or I should say an invention. Maybe let's put it into you're not gonna come up with anything. Meaning like Bill Gates, even though, all his money should be taken away and he should be executed because of the evils of Microsoft.
Right.
But he's doing a lot of good right now with his dough, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
He's doing a lot of good. But then again, Bill Gates he did it in his 20s,
Yeah, he was a young man.
He certainly didn't invent it, but he certainly had the foresight to understand when he bought DOS from the guy for $50,000 how much value there was in leasing or selling licenses and not selling the software. And when IBM came knocking and asked if they had an operating system, Bill Gates said, yes, we got one. And they didn't have one, and they went out and bought one for $50,000. That guy's, if he's still alive, he's going to be fucking kicking himself. Because that $50,000 turned into $100 billion. What was I talking about?
I don't know. You're all over the place, man. You were talking about Thomas Edison and fucking Steve Jobs.
So I think Edison came up with the, I don't know whether he invented it, but he came up with the, a workable DC motor. And there was a big war between Tesla and Edison, and Tesla more in the Tesla went to work for Edison. And then Tesla had a falling out with Edison. One of the things Thomas Edison did is, if you work for Thomas Edison, which is true today, so he's not doing anything that's crazy scummy, but companies do this today. If you're working for somebody and you invent something, they fucking own it. And Edison wouldn't put the person's name on the patent. So if you go back and you look at the history of Thomas Edison and George Westinghouse. George Westinghouse had half as many patents as Thomas Edison, but George Westinghouse, when somebody that worked for him came up with something, their name was on the patent.
All right.
And then they would work a deal where Westinghouse would, all right, you're working here, I'm going to pay you something. So Tesla quit Edison and went to work for Westinghouse. Mm-hmm. And Tesla was an absolute fucking genius. In the true sense of the word genius. He wasn't a genius as, like, say people would say, like, Lil Wayne is a genius.
Right.
It's a different sort of genius.
Right. It's an
you know what I mean?
It's actual genius.
Actually, you're an English guy. I was thinking of this today, Al. What is, and I know don't I sound like I've been taking like 10 Adderall in a fucking row? I know that I'm blurting.
You're doing great, man.
I got a lot of energy.
You're doing really well.
So at any rate, Thomas Edison and George Westinghouse, a.k.a. via Tesla, had a war between AC and DC.
Right.
And
I've seen shit about this.
There was a war.
Yeah.
And which power was going to, which one was going to run the future?
Right.
And Edison went and he powered up like a square mile in Manhattan, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was all DC. The problem with DC is, and it's direct current, is you can't change the voltage of DC, meaning the way power is transferred today, we have AC power. It's run through what's called a transformer, and then it's stepped up to an extremely high voltage, and then put over transmission lines, and then it's brought down into various substations, and then it's transformed back, because very high voltage and lower current will travel greater distances with no loss. Whereas if you try to run, you could run DC for maybe 3 miles before at the end of the fucking line, you could stick it up your ass.
Right.
And nothing would happen. And you're talking about, so meaning you could be generating 100,000 watts where the generator is, and 3 or 4 miles down the road, you'd have fucking nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So AC won out. And that's the legacy of Tesla and the legacy of Edison. But Edison, there's still a lot of actually more plants are probably, you don't hear a lot of, it's usually Boston Edison, because Edison got the credit. He was a real good marketer. And he was, to give him credit, he was a very good inventor, too. He was credited with inventing the light bulb. But the deal is that when internal combustion engines came along, do you realize that most cities that were around back then had street railway cars? Most cities had awesome public transportation. And this is going way back to, 20s, 30s, shit like that. Automobile manufacturers paid to have these electric-powered streetcars thrown in the fucking trash.
Right.
Because they wanted an automobile-driven country/world.
Right.
And so, I mean, there was electric-powered streetcars. Not only were there electric cars, but there were electric-powered streetcars. And they were wonderful because they didn't pollute. You could put a lot of people in one place, and the whole place wasn't fucking. Although they probably burned coal for heat.
There's electric-powered streetcars in Boston. They're
Well,
all the
there's
fuck
still-
over Europe, man.
Yeah, there's still electric-powered stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know if I can honestly. I can't say with any factual basis that there were more streetcars
Than there are now.
70 or 80 years ago than there are now. But I wouldn't be surprised if there were.
Yeah, I believe you. I mean,
Because the rail networks in these cities were huge because this was a technology.
I wonder
that
if
they had.
potentially, if for whatever reason the cars didn't happen, if everywhere there'd be a railway system right now,
Well, I mean, it's. I don't want to say that there was evil in it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Well,
And this
again,
is the,
greed.
This is the problem with environmentalists today, who talk about the global warming, and they want to make everything out to be, like everyone. I mean, oil was found bubbling out of the ground. Nobody. I mean, in the beginning, it was a pain in the ass.
Right.
Oh, look at this shit. How are we going to fucking farm here with this black shit bubbling out of the fucking ground?
Right.
And after the discovery of the value of oil, I mean, for many years, oil wasn't used as a fucking fuel to propel anything. It was lamp fuel.
Yeah. heat and light.
I mean, Rockefeller, the name of the company is Standard Oil.
Right.
Because Rockefeller made an oil that you could buy in California or in fucking Great Britain, and it would be the same oil because there were a lot of different companies that made, Ed's oil, and one would be right, and the other one would be like gasoline, and you put it in your lamp, and your fucking house blew up.
Right.
So that's why Rockefeller was able to do so well, was because he said, look, you can buy it's like McDonald's. You can buy my oil anywhere. It'll be the same. It's not going to kill your kids.
Right.
You can go to McDonald's anywhere in the world. You get a fucking quarter pounder with cheese. It's a quarter pounder with cheese.
Right.
So consistency. But that was before he made, I don't know whether he's a millionaire or certainly a millionaire.
Well, John Rockefeller was the first billionaire.
So
you looked that right up, that's for sure.
I don't know when when gasoline became bigger than lamp oil.
Yeah.
But lamp oil was certainly before gasoline.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
And then diesel fuel to follow. And I don't know, and also diesel fuel and heating oil.
Yeah.
And I don't know that history. I don't know that timeline. I can't tell you that, 1880 through 1900 was lamp oil, and then, there weren't a lot of cars around. I don't think there were a lot of internal combustions engines around pre-1900.
I believe you're correct.
So I think it was a lot of fucking lamp oil. And then guys like Henry Ford came in, and a lot of guys came in. And then gasoline, gasoline was just a fucking waste product. So getting back, so the environmentalists today look back and they with this, I don't know whether it's revisionist history, it's how evil fossil fuels are.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, there was some sinister guy in a castle who said, let's fucking burn all this fucking fossil fuel and warm the planet up.
Right.
And that way we can, make people in low-lying areas suffer. They make you want to believe that it was all this evil fucking... It's the way... The Industrial Revolution in the world, not just in our country, ran on the finding and usefulness of fossil fuels.
Right.
It was a huge part of it. So, I don't know. I don't know how you'd have to be a scholar to find out whether it was good or bad that the automobile companies pushed for the elimination of the streetcar. You know what I mean? You look at the automobile allowed suburbia to exist.
Right.
For good or for bad. Because you can't live. I mean, if you moved out of the city, you could have a railway go, 20 miles, 30 miles out of the city. But how could you live if there was no automobile? How could you live, 2 miles from the train station?
Right.
In a place where you get snow and rain and shit like that. You couldn't, could you? You'd have to have a means of transportation.
Again, you look at...
So there wouldn't be any...
There wouldn't be any sprawling suburbia.
There would
just be outskirts.
Maybe that would have been better, but I don't...
The city would only go as far as the railway, I call it, whatever. The street rail would go. That's as far as it would go. You get off in your neighborhood, that's the end of the line, and
right.
That's just that. That's as far as
So if you want to live in the city, if you think cities are the way that it should be, then you probably think the automobile is a horrible thing.
Yeah.
But I think living in a city is fucking awful.
Yeah, well, especially in a city where there's a lot of cars.
Well, I mean, in a city where if you're a tinkerer, how much shit can you fucking have in your...
Oh, you're not in your loft. You're not
Yeah.
Or
Can't get a
hopefully-
car up there to fuck
I was
with, or
gonna
a
say,
motorcycle.
hopefully you got a good job and you can not only afford your fucking loft or your fucking flat, but you got to afford a rental space to tinker in. You know what I mean?
So
that's where
either-
your car is, in a fucking rental garage or something. And who knows how many of them there are? Not that many.
So there wouldn't be.
Sure, those are harder to find than apartments.
I'm sure there was urban sprawl somewhat, in the sense that you had a fucking horse and buggy and shit like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of people farmed, and commuting wasn't a thing. And I mean, nowadays, as Al was saying when he came in, it's Al was self-employed for all of his life until last year, and he's got a job, and the thing that he seems to like his job, and he doesn't like the commute.
Oh, commute sucks.
And his commute is a joke compared to
What other people
some
do? Oh, at least I drive
assholes
that
driving
way.
to Boston.
If I had to drive
Oh
the
my
same amount
God.
of miles in the other direction,
You'd quit. You wouldn't.
I wouldn't do
last.
it. I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't have taken the job.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't even interviewed for it. I wouldn't. You know what I mean? I would have never interviewed for anything in fucking Boston.
No. And if I ever was to get a job in Boston, I would go and move near Boston.
Well, yeah. I mean, believe me, I
don't care how small the
I
place
asked
is.
Kat
I'd
if
go
she wanted to
fucking
move nearer to New Bedford. She's like, "Fuck that! I work in Plymouth. She don't want to drive back to Plymouth from over there. You know, I would have moved down there if she wanted to. Maybe not to New Bedford, but Freetown or Fairhaven or something.
Well, and one of the things that you
Rochester
and
or some
I have,
shit.
we've discussed this. Al and I live in a very nice place.
Yeah, we live in a great place.
Our town, and I shouldn't be leaking this out, but it's a fucking awesome place to live.
It is nice.
And a lot of people, and I didn't realize it when I was a kid, but I've been all over this fucking country. I've been to a lot of, I haven't just hopped in a plane and flown into Jackson Hole. I've fucking ridden from here to Jackson Hole.
Yeah.
And I've never hit any place where I said, oh, this is awesome. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We got the right amount of, if you're into, if you want a warm weather every day, you don't want to live here. You want to go to San Diego. Go live in San Diego. Be great.
Right.
But I would imagine, to me, I'd kill myself after living in San Diego, because it would just be one nice day after another. You'd fucking forget that there was nice weather all the time.
Yeah.
So you'd have one less thing that, I love a good fucking blizzard now and again. Mostly because I don't have to get up and commute.
I used to not like it, but now that I commute, I fucking hate it. Especially. You know what I mean?
So, I mean, for the commuters out there.
Although I gotta say,
they're like, fuck the snow.
the
I
winter-
hate snow.
Although I get physically, I don't like winter. I get fucking physically blue in the winter.
Well, there's a lot of that going on,
Yeah.
too. Yeah, I mean, you want to be there where there's longer days. But
Yeah.
I would suggest you got to go to Florida a few times a year.
Yeah.
hell out.
Well, I wish I could fucking.
No,
What I'm gonna do, Joe, is
It's coming, though.
spend the tail end of my life in Florida. That's what I'm gonna do.
well, I'll have another person to visit down
and I'm
there.
gonna drive Uber for a living, because you make your own schedule. You're with happy people. And if anyone's an asshole, fuck them. You know what I mean?
Well, here's
Uber sounds like the deal. You can fucking make a living down there driving Uber. Sounds
I
like
think-
fun.
I try to think of in the same way like Elon Musk. I think what's going to happen is tell me if this sounds crazy. See, now ownership of an automobile is a big thing right now, okay? Meaning people own their automobiles.
Right.
Okay? Because you need your automobile here so you can get in it, meaning 3 people can't really own an automobile, that even if they got different schedules, because somebody's going to need the fucker, and you
Right.
know. But I think the future is going to be somewhat like this, and this might put a fucking kibosh in your Uber thing, but Timing might, we'll see. We're moving very rapidly to an automobile that will be able to drive itself.
Right.
Okay? So my buddy Ira bought one of these Teslas, and it's got a lot of the, like it has like a self-driving feature. I mean, you can't fall asleep and take a fucking nap, but it'll drive itself. He keeps trying to get me to come down there to see it. I will eventually. But when they get this all worked out, and it's going to be pretty soon, we're talking in 10 years, then like in 5, I think that you're going to be able to go down the highway and there's going to be people asleep in their car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when it becomes so that most cars are now self-driving, then why would you own one? It's kind of like net jets. Why own a fucking jet if you're going to fly twice a month?
Right.
Why not have a fractional ownership? Because it's too expensive to, even if you can afford it, it's sort of a stupid thing. But if you're going to fly twice a year twice a month, and so 24 times a year, then I guess fractional ownership of a jet, maybe that makes more sense, I think cars are going to be like that. They're just going to be either you lease you're on a lease plan where
you buy into one coming to your house to pick you up when you need a ride.
Right. You can have...
And it's not a car, it's a service.
They
it's
can
not
do it by
one particular car, you're buying into the service. And
right.
The service provider has tens of thousands of vehicles.
Yes, you'll have a service where, I don't know, you buy it by the mile or you buy it by the hour. And
are these cars going to have internal combustion engines, or are these going to be electric?
I think some will be internal, some will be variants of both. Some will be internal for a very short period of time, and then most will be electric.
Yeah.
And then they'll just, you get in and you'll go to the highway, get on the highway, and as soon as there's no one driving, then the trip to Boston will be a joke.
Yeah.
There won't be, you can have bumper to bumper cars going 80 miles an hour.
Right.
Because all the cars are going to talk to one another. So if you got 100 cars in a row, all braking at the same time and accelerating at the same time, that eliminates all traffic jams, unless it runs over a fucking dog or something.
Right.
There's always going to be some factor.
Right.
But
some lunatic
I think that's
protesting in the middle of the highway.
Like, there's a good chance that I'll be alive to see
the beginning of that, maybe,
and some of it going on.
I understand what you're saying.
I think I'll be alive, so if I wanted to buy a car that drives itself, I probably could.
So then what do you think? You think that the traditional car manufacturers will be in on that? Like, so say I'm going to buy into Ford will be providing a service where they have 1 million cars in the area. And then, they go to some fucking hub for maintenance or whatever, but they're just constantly going. They drop you off, they go to the next guy who needs a Ford right then. You know what I mean? Or whatever. You know what I mean? Do you think the traditional car manufacturers will be in on that, or how's that going to go down?
I don't know how
or
it
it's
works.
Or it's going to be Elon Musk and whoever else comes up with the technology,
I don't know.
I bet you the car manufacturers are in on that. It's like, hey,
Well, I think Elon Musk, as
Ford?
much as he's a visionary and he's doing this, but as soon as, and I say this, I don't want Elon Musk to fail. A lot of people that think Elon Musk is full of shit, and I'm not one of those people.
Not me neither. I think he's a brilliant guy.
I mean, this guy is, he's done more in a year than most 100 people have done.
He's revolutionizing the whole space thing. He's he's on to something there too.
And it's just something special about guys like that. I mean, he's a different. You're not going to understand an Elon Musk because if you did, you'd be one.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't see any any comparison between, say, Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk either. Because that fucking Facebook, I think
a step back from mankind.
I think, yeah, it definitely is. It's a
Like
step in
texting.
the wrong direction.
I always thought texting was a step in the wrong direction, and this was before Facebook.
But
Facebook's awful. It's evil.
it's an evil fucking thing. And
And by the way, kind of right at Facebook.com. Kind of right at
yeah,
Facebook.com.
we do have a
We got a Facebook
Al's got
mini
one.
presence. But it's kind of like it's really me as kind of right, but I only got like 30 friends on that.
But no, I think we're going to see a future that's pretty interesting with this kind of stuff. And there's going to be all kinds of things that are going to have to be worked out. I mean, food's not, the necessities of life are. I was listening to Doug Stanhope although it says it was done in 2016, I thought it was new, but it was new to me. Has a stand-up special, and he talks about people in poverty in the United States. And he goes, you got to understand, we're talking about United States poverty, where, the guy that's impoverished, he only has a flip phone,
Right.
and he has a fucking pair of vice grips to roll down his window and his fucking Dodge Neon.
Right.
And I mean, there's a lot. Poverty in the United States isn't like you see and imagine if they could transmit the fucking smell through the TV or one of these magazines where like fucking the shit river is running right through your front yard. And he talked about like he was watching some of that Locked Up Abroad, and you go in and he said, well, maybe some girl, and she's on there, and she says, well, I got this offer from a guy who wanted to travel, and he said, if all I had to do was stick this thing up my asshole and smuggle it to another country, and I wanted to travel, and now she's in some, fucking Malaysian prison. But you go out, and it's horrible inside, but you go outside, and everybody's living the same way as the people in the prison.
Right.
Shit river flowing down, people drinking piss water, and fucking going into the dump.
So not only...
Oh, yeah, Stanhope said our dumps are like the fucking, be like finding the temple of gold for some of these people.
Right. And it smells better.
Yeah, probably smells a lot better.
So not only do we live in a really nice area, we live in a really nice country. A nice area of a nice country.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, if you make over 34 grand, you're the one percenters in the world.
Yeah.
So it's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
That's why this country's
We got
filled
it
with
good.
people that bitch about shit. And that's why I don't think life is all that valuable here, because I think all these people that, the fucking transgendered assholes that, look, I don't care if you're transgendered. Be transgendered. And if there's somebody making fun of you, then I don't think that's right. But I'm not going to make up special rules for you.
Yeah, you're not getting special treatment.
Not yet. We're not there yet. You know what? Why don't you go to fucking Malaysia? Take a trip. Get some fucking perspective. There's people there that can't fucking eat.
Yeah.
And you want to piss and moan about,
People
I
don't
got a
recognize-
cunt, but I feel like a man. I don't fucking care.
And this person over here won't use the pronoun for me that I've
fuck you.
chosen.
I mean, we make up. We have these fucking they're really fictional problems.
oh, yeah.
I mean, they're
First world problems, we
they're
call that.
they're first world problems.
Exactly.
Like fags getting married. I mean, it's a fucking joke. I mean, that's one of the big issues. Abortion and homos getting married.
Right.
So, I mean, we're setting the example for the rest of the world. Are we really? I mean, no wonder the fucking, there is a reason why we're fucking hated. And I believe that's...
Isn't there gay marriage everywhere else, though? Like in Europe. I know not in not in South America, that's for sure. But
not in any country that's not considered first world.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
Not in any country that's considered first. There's no third world country that has gay marriage.
Yeah, right. But that's what I'm saying. Like Western Europe has it.
Of
and,
course.
Like, does Canada have it now?
I don't know.
I mean, who knows?
I think
Mexico definitely don't have it because they're way too Catholic. But
and that's
Italy
why
probably doesn't have it either. But
I don't know.
I bet you in Holland, gay people can get married. Maybe France, maybe Spain. You know, even though Spain's
Well,
all
I would
highly
think all
Catholic,
Northern
too.
European countries you could get married if you're gay.
Like Sweden and Finland and that
I would
Northern
think so.
European. Yeah.
They tend to be the most.
How about the UK? What do you think?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, how many countries
Let's look
is
it up here for a second.
gay marriage legal? Is that the correct way to phrase it? I mean,
Well, it would have to be legal for them to allow it.
yeah. I mean,
You know what I mean? But I mean, these are problems that are. If your problem is whether gay people can get married,
yeah. You don't have
then
many
you don't
problems.
have any real serious problems.
No, you don't. You don't. You're right. There's not a lot of African fucking farming villages where they're worried about, the fucking tribal chief fucking
You're
marrying
not-
a couple of the gay guys.
You're not worrying about where you're going to get your next meal.
Right. For the most part.
So I
mean-
just think it's be lucky that you're in a country where you have these, but I don't want to listen to you bitch anymore. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Stop the gay pride parade. What are you proud about?
Yeah.
What's proud about sticking your cock in somebody else's ass? Is
Well-
there anything to be proud of sticking your cock in a woman's pussy? Are you proud that you
No.
have a biological function? So fuck the gay pride. Why are you proud? I'm not proud of you. Then again, I'm not proud of any heterosexual either.
For being heterosexual.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Why are you pride? Where's the pride coming from? Fuck you and your pride. Go have a meal, suck your buddy's dick, and be glad you're living in a country that will tolerate you and not chop your fucking head off.
Right.
Lesbian, gay, bisexual. I don't know. I get this. I open a wiki page here, and it's just this long.
Yeah. I gotta
Where
bring
is
my
same-
computer back.
Where is same-sex marriage legal in the world?
I mean,
So can't be that tough to find out, huh?
no, let me talk to my phone, though, because I can talk to my phone.
Really?
How many countries is same-sex marriage legal? And boom.
Wikipedia. As of 2018, same-sex marriage is recognized by law in the following countries: Argentina, Australia, Belgium, Brazil, Canada, Colombia,
right.
Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, Iceland, Ireland,
Mexico.
Luxembourg, Malta, Mexico, the
wrong
Netherlands,
about
New Zealand,
South America and
Norway,
Mexico.
Portugal, South Africa,
Damn.
Spain,
It's
Sweden,
legal in
the
a lot of
United
places.
Kingdom, the
Damn. So it's legal, man.
Yeah.
Even in South America. So
Did it say Mexico?
Mexico, too. Yeah, Central America and shit.
Oh, wonderful.
I mean, Armenia, Estonia, and Israel. Oh, they recognize the marriages of same-sex couples validly entered into in other countries. So you can't
well,
get
you gotta
married
be
there,
careful
but you can.
there.
But
Married there, or do they?
it's actually not that many countries. Uruguay, United States, United Kingdom, Sweden, Spain, South Africa, Portugal, Norway, New Zealand, the Netherlands, Mexico, Malta, Luxembourg, Ireland, Iceland, Germany, France, Finland, Denmark, Colombia, Canada, Brazil, most of South America, man. But the more first worldy South America, you know what I mean? Like Peru and Panama, that shit's in Venezuela, that shit's not fucking legal. You know what I mean? Those are third. Mexico's there. Mexico's not a third world country, man. You're right. These are all not third world countries. Does not want.
You can get married in Mexico as a fag.
As a homosexual person, yes, you can get married in Mexico. as well as Brazil and Colombia and Uruguay. But these are all, you could tell, these are these are all fucking countries with real good soccer teams. Not a lot of real good soccer teams coming out of the third world right now. You know what I mean? Again, first world problems. They don't got a soccer federation and like a lot of money flowing through tax-wise to pay for fucking youth soccer programs. By the way, if anyone else out there is interested, I know no one is because I find myself alone in this. The World Cup, the final is Sunday. I would like to say congratulations to people who follow and the players from Croatia and France are going to be in the final, which is, who knew Croatia? Oh, yeah, I did. I picked him early, everybody. Thank you. And France is great. And condolences to Belgium. And England lost to Croatia today. Anyway, this has been going on for a month. It's the greatest sport event in the world. It's kind of like I used to be into the Olympics as a kid. And when the Olympics were all over, you had this feeling of hollowness. It was just
You love
2
this
weeks.
soccer.
The fucking World Cup is the greatest. And this particular World Cup, you listen to people who know about it, and I think so also, but I've only paid attention to like 4 or 5 of them. It's unequivocally the greatest fucking month of soccer ever. This particular last month, this World Cup is amazing. Those guys are fucking great athletes, and they're fucking animals. Unfortunately, they're purely focused on getting a ball into a net. So they're not really smart guys, but I have to, again, we always say, you get big points here at fucking Kinda Right for being a driven individual. These guys are driven individuals, man, and they make sick money. They make sick money.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah, go ahead. I was vamping while you were peeing, by the way.
I heard
and I
you.
never
I was
get to talk about soccer, so I couldn't think of anything else to talk about.
Do you think that people that can be wildly driven
Yeah.
towards one thing, and it's a simple thing, and I'm not saying it's we're talking about kicking a ball around.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
there's
asking me,
all
can they be
kinds-
driven on something else?
Are they dumb?
Well, I mean, by and large, like golfers and soccer players they're just dumb as dirt. They're dumb.
It's a serious
Some of them are
question. I mean,
business. I think it's just the same.
can you be thinking,
It's got to be the same. It's the same. They have the same fucking. The average intelligence of a fucking person, IQ wise, is what, 96, 98 in America. I'm sure the average soccer
98
player is
in the
not.
United
Sure, the average soccer player is 98 as well. That's my answer.
okay.
I don't think they're any dumber or fucking smart. It's not a
So
lot.
you
Of,
don't think that
not a lot of fucking not Rhodes Scholars or fucking Mensa members either. But I bet you their average IQ is 98.
I just always it amazes me how much people can focus on something on a a certain thing for so long,
Yeah.
whether it be
So they're more OCD than ADHD. That's for
I
sure.
get. Well, they're not. Like my brain's going 100 miles an hour.
I think
of the
most
time.
driven people have OCD, by the way.
I
So there's your answer.
if you can work 18 hours, there's these people, and we need them
Yeah.
that can work. They'll work 18 hours a day,
we need them. It's called
7 days a week. Yeah, like Trump. Trump's not a dumb guy.
No, he's not.
But this guy will work towards a goal 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. And there are a lot of these people that exist in, I think your top tier corporate people are people that can do this, because how else are you going to compete? It's so fucking competitive out there. You can't have somebody that says, well, I'm going to work 30 hours a week and have everybody else in my company work 30 hours a week, and we're going to be competitive. I don't think you can. You got to put in fucking insane hours, and I don't know. I don't look at it negatively. I can't imagine being one of those people. I'm not one of those people. I'm not saying, hey, these people, are they happier? Maybe they're happier.
I haven't done it in a while. I'm going in on Saturday to work after all that bullshit that just went down. I'm like, I think I'll try to do one Saturday a month for a while.
So was this recent where they saw your...
It was yesterday I got called in.
Okay.
Or Monday. Yesterday, Howard literally had a heart attack. He had a stroke.
Literally.
And he said he was on the verge. He was upset. He was shaken by the whole thing. They thought I was leaving. I'm like, I'm not fucking going anywhere. It's my naivete about the fucking internet. I didn't realize my fucking... because I applied for something.
Now, was your big boss pissed? Or
he was
nervous?
A little angry because he said, in effect, that his name, because I put the company... I updated my resume with the company.
Yeah.
And I even put on the value of the... My wife said I should have never done this, but fuck it, it's in my resume. I put the value of the jobs, the range of value. I put, 4,000 to 400,000, bid on and won. You know what I mean?
Sure.
What the fuck? If you're trying to get a job, you got to let people know what you're doing.
I guess if you put the company there, then it makes the company. Why is this guy leaving?
Well, that's what the boss is. It's great. Now it looks like I got an estimator who's fucking
unhappy,
and I'm like, Rick, I will go take it down right now if you want. He goes, it's not about what I want. It's about what you. And I'm like, I didn't mean to put it that way. What I meant to say is I'm going to go downstairs and take it off, okay? I'm not going anywhere. And I tried to... they weren't buying it first, the whole... I simply saw an ad. Because I found this job on Indeed, I get notifications for similar jobs.
Right.
And there was one in Pembroke, the next town over from where I live, Then I looked into it.
That you hate the commute? Basically.
Oh, yeah. I told him that. Yeah. And I said, yeah, it's clear. He goes, well, just even if the other job paid you better and it was closer, it doesn't mean that it's a better opportunity. I'm like, I guess so, Rick, but I'm not going to fucking put blinders on. You know what I mean? How idiotic would that be? Yeah, I'm loyal and I'm going to work hard and I want it to happen and it's going to happen.
Well, the best...
But if a fucking job opens up next door that pays more and it's closer to home,
right.
I'm going to look at it. Now, I would be stupid to not look at it.
Never having worked for anybody,
yeah.
I would think the best thing that you can do is make yourself valuable and make sure that the owner / management knows you don't give a fuck whether they got rid of you or not. And or that you'd leave in a heartbeat for a better opportunity.
Listen, it was a passive-aggressive play by me, and it worked. I'll be
I
getting a raise
good.
in October. You know what I mean? That's all I have to say.
Yeah, you fucking should.
Yeah, I will. When we're really, we got to land one of these fucking big monsters. You know what I mean? I got to land one of these. We haven't landed a monster yet, like over $200,000. We've landed 150, a little bit over 100. You know what I mean? But. I'm looking to land a monster.
Is that a big painting contract for? I mean, I would think there's painting contracts out there for a couple $1 million.
There are, but we're not painting high rises with maybe 6-story new apartment buildings. That's worth who knows? Painting's a nickel and dime business. It turns out. You know what I mean? It's a nickel and dime business.
Well, there's not a lot.
You're going to be lucky to. You're going to be 12% overheads written in. You're going to be lucky to make 20% profit.
Speaking of painting, I felt so bad for Fran. If you talk to Fran, I fucking went off on Joe McCarthy today. Like I've never gone off. It's been 6 weeks.
What are you talking about?
Joe McCarthy started a house 6 weeks. More than 6 weeks. It was in fucking June. What's before? May. End of May. He's not done. And Fran's been trying to go in there and finish. Yeah. And I keep saying, for the past 3 weeks, I've said, look, you got to fucking go in there and finish.
And he just can't finish. He hasn't been able to finish for 20 years, Joe.
Yeah, but I mean, it's never been 6-7 weeks. This is crazy. And I finally said to him today, I said, look, because, I only have so much leverage over him because he's got bigger clients and shit. And I said, so I just used the old, this is because he's a pretty moral guy. And I said, this is fucking wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I gave him. I can't use him again. I'm not doing this because I mean I don't want to beg fucking. I'm not begging people.
He's only
to
been
come
back
to work.
for like 2 or 3 houses, right? Or has it been more? Because you weren't using him for a while. We had someone else in there. I forget
Scott
who.
Busy Guy was doing it.
All right.
I don't want to put too many balls into his court though, because if he goes away, it's a horror show to replace him. But at the same time,
so what's he just framing?
He's framing Sidon.
Oh, okay. It's a good time of year for that, anyway. You know.
Well, and he likes it because believe it or not, apparently, and I don't know. You have to understand something, folks, all 3 of you, or 6, that my career is not very important to me. My career is something that I found. It's a little niche. I'm able to make some money, work very few hours.
It's all about maximizing your downtime,
Right.
baby.
And so I don't hang around with a lot of the people that do the same thing as me. I know a lot of the same people. I know who they are. I can talk to them, and I don't care how many houses they built. I mean, it's not a
contest.
It's not a who's got a bigger dick, or I don't give a fuck.
No, you just do it your way.
You
And
can
that's
make
that.
$100 million, and I'll make a couple $100,000, and I'll be fucking happy. But having said that, there's a lot of motherfuckers out there that don't pay dudes.
Right.
And one of Scott's things is he says, every week there's a fucking check. I said, yeah, I've always been like that.
Yeah. You got to pay the guys, man. Me too.
But there's a lot of people that don't pay. I would say it sounds like it's more common than not.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it is.
Where they just go, sorry, we don't have any money for you.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I know people that have been beat out of fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars. When you're a framer or driveway guy, Paul Willett got beat out of like $100,000.
That sucks.
Man, it's probably why he's dead.
I mean,
If he had that money, he'd probably be all right. I don't know.
who knows?
What a scumbag thing to do, though.
I don't think $100,000 is curing whatever he had. By the way,
No,
you know what I mean?
But still,
He was pretty sick.
yeah, something was going on. Poor bastard.
Yeah, he didn't die well, from what I heard. That sucks.
But isn't that what life's all about, Al?
What, dying unwell? You're
Al
lucky. Most 99% of death is awful and painful. You'd be lucky to just die in your sleep.
Well,
You'd be lucky.
one of the reasons that people like a little agony and suffering in their life,
Yeah.
struggle, because if you don't have that, then you start thinking about what the fuck is the point. Too many good days in a row, then you start thinking, what the fuck am I? What am I doing here? You follow what I'm saying? In
I
a
do.
weird kind of twisted way.
I do. I know what you're saying. You need
People need a challenge.
You need a little challenge
in
right?
their life.
It shouldn't be so easy all the time.
And that's why so many of these people that are like,
But that's
kids
why
that
we
are given their, the family fortune is
Yeah,
passed
you don't
on,
like that. I
and
get
they have
it.
no struggle in their life
Yeah.
whatsoever.
I know you hate
and they
that.
end up being just fuck-ups.
Fucking useless.
And it's not everybody, but it's predominantly. It's the predominance is that if you're given a lot of money and you don't have to work, that you're just going to be a fucking useless piece of shit. And that basically is what happens.
Yeah, I mean, if someone wanted to give me a load of money and I didn't have to work the rest of my life, I think that'd be okay. I put in enough hours up till
Well, yeah,
now.
if somebody comes along,
Now, at 50. But I know what you're saying about kids who'd never,
Yeah.
ever, 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 ever do
if you
anything.
hit the lottery,
Yeah.
you probably wouldn't be one of those guys that is broke in a year and a half after winning $500 million.
I wouldn't. I would probably have a personal trainer and work out 4 to 6 hours a day. I would probably build houses because it's fun. I like it. And I would probably play a lot of cards and travel a little bit.
There you go.
I do like to travel. I have to admit, I do like to travel.
I hate traveling.
No, well, the actual, we talk about this all the time. The actual.
I like being there.
Yeah, I like to go somewhere that I haven't been before. How's that?
When they invent the
somewhere
transporter, I'll go everywhere.
Yeah. You'll be in Bali,
I'll fucking go everywhere.
Tokyo. I wouldn't mind seeing Tokyo. I'm not going to go there until the transporters. But
I'm not flying.
I'm not flying to Tokyo.
Fucking air.
I don't even want to fly to California ever again. I think the farthest place I'm flying ever again, other Florida, and the farthest west I'm ever flying is Milwaukee when we go back to Summerfest. I really want to go back to that, man. That was a good time. What a good fucking time, man.
My daughter, I haven't heard anything about her moving. So
what do you mean? She was San Diego or something?
She was interested in going to Los Angeles.
She looks like a California chick. All blonde and tan and shit.
I haven't heard any more about it. Maybe
pretty.
Maybe
skinny.
that little fire in her belly is gone. I mean, if she gets a job, some fat job where they say, we're going to pay you $500,000 a year or whatever.
Yeah.
She moves out there, and then that's it. But I just don't want to have to fly there. Like I'm not going to this wedding.
Somebody getting married?
Yeah, the lady I built Linda, our pal Linda.
By the way, the lady who moved in there is kind of cute. If it was her who I saw, two cuties in a row.
I don't know. There was
a little blonde lady over there.
There was someone in between her.
Oh, was there?
I think so.
Holy shit! I didn't know that. So wait a minute. Luscious is getting married in California.
Yeah, she lives in San Luis Obispo.
Okay. Yeah.
Which apparently is a very popular place.
It's like the 8th biggest fucking city in California. No, that's Bakersfield. Hold on. No, San Luis Obispo.
It's a very.
Bet you has a couple 100,000 people.
Tourist place, I guess, or I don't know.
Is it on the coast?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, there it is.
But it's like
it's a destination, like.
I guess.
Kind of resorty or something. I mean. So anyway, she lives out there with, it's not the same guy, is it?
She moved out there with the psychiatrist.
Oh, okay. Well, good for Linda. You know what I mean?
Mike the psychiatrist.
Hopefully she's not working. She can enjoy. She's exactly in between me and my father.
No, she works. She works pretty hard. Well, he had some
I think
horrid.
She just turned 60, right?
Linda?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think she's exactly 10 years older than me for some reason.
She, this guy was married to a psychologist, and he had the 4-year awful divorce.
Oh.
Like when they moved out there 2 years ago.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that marriage just ended this spring.
Okay, that's too bad.
And it had been going on for 2 years before he met him. So,
yeah,
I guess that's out of the picture. So that's all. That's done.
Yeah. It took me 3 years to get divorced, but it's not because we were.
Yeah, but you guys weren't fighting.
We weren't fighting.
You were just figuring stuff
Just lazy.
out. Yeah.
Just lazy.
No, they were fighting over.
Ah, that sucks.
And all the kids were grown and shit. And apparently all the kids hate him.
You know, I found the way to avoid the argument by saying, "How about you just take everything?" And there was no arguing, there was no hate. You know what I mean?
Well, it
all
easy
just
way.
ended.
Yeah.
Any vitriol that there might have been
takes a lot of the wind out of your sails.
How about you take everything and I can come by and see the kids whenever I want? How's that sound? And it worked out, you know. Although, I think my son's mad at me, but whatever. I know my daughter's good. She's over it.
He'll be over it, too.
He will be. He's getting better. He's an angry young man. He's a interesting dude, though. I know I brag on him a lot, but I'm proud of him.
Hey, Papa John is apologizing for using the N-word on a conference call.
Oh, no. He's already, hasn't he already lost? He lost the chairmanship of that company over something else like that, didn't he? Like now he's just kind of on the board or whatever. He doesn't. He's not involved in the day-to-day on that fucking thing anymore. He did something stupid before. I can't remember what it was.
You know, I think it was like he said it. It was
fingered
a joke.
somebody? No. Oh, this... Unless we're talking about the same thing and it's just coming up again.
Shatner was on a call with marketing agency Laundry Service when he tried to downplay comments he made about the National Football League and allegedly said, quote, Colonel Sanders called blacks niggers and complained that the KFC founder never faced public backlash.
So he was just pointing out that somebody else said that. And so it's not a good...
The call was a role-playing exercise for Shatner to prevent future public relations fumbles.
What?
He was doing role-playing exercises.
First of all, his name is John Shatner?
Yeah, Schatter.
Oh.
That's Papa John.
Oh, I didn't know that. Anytime you say Shatner, I, of course, think of the great
So, of course,
Bill Shatner.
Hey, anytime somebody says the word nigger,
it's not a good word.
They have to, like, get up and apologize.
Yeah, you can't. It's not a good word, man.
No, it's not.
I know I use it.
The word it has everything to do with these fucking seething scum that travel around race baiting maggots.
Well,
and they're usually not black, quite frankly.
Yeah, a lot of them are black, though. There's a lot of race baiting black people in charge, you know. First and foremost, your ex-president. Not your, I mean, I'm talking to the audience. Our ex-president.
He's all of our presidents, Al.
Barack Obama. Unequivocally.
I don't think Barack was a race baiter. He was divisive, though.
Yeah, he was definitely he was the most divisive president in history.
Well, he didn't do anything to heal any wounds or anything.
Fucking Cheshire cat looking motherfucker.
He was enamored with himself.
Of himself. Enamored of. I don't know why that is. I don't know. It's enamored of. I mean, and back to the stark contrast between him and Donald Trump. Donald Trump makes fucking FDR look like the fucking polio-ridden fucking useless fucker he was. All right? Donald Trump is the greatest president in the history of the United States. Get over it, everybody.
Well, FDR did, like, solve a lot of the problems of the Depression.
FDR was a pretty good president.
He's probably better president than
But
Trump.
I tell you right now, he got a lot more sleep than the Donald. Times were easier back then.
Well,
times are tougher now.
It was slower, I think.
No one was in a fucking hurry. And, I mean, actually, if you look at the fucking spread on both of them, neither of them are moving a lot. Although old Franklin, he kind of did have an excuse for not moving.
What's the big thing about the... so Brett Kavanaugh, have you read anything about this guy?
I read up on him as soon as Donald fucking nominated him. I watched it live in bed on my phone because I was having a heart attack. Talk about dying in your sleep. I thought I was having a heart attack, so instead of going to the hospital, I went to sleep hoping to die in my sleep. And, you know what I mean? Figuring it would be way better than getting hooked up. And, like, you know, like when you hit your head, you know what? You were like, the hospital is for people with cancer and heart attacks. I'm like, the hospital is for people with cancer. That's it. You know, you're going to have a heart attack. Just lay down and, you know, either it'll stop or you're going to die in your sleep. That's fine. But anyway, so Kat came in and reminded me. She goes, you know, Donald's on in 5 minutes. I'm like, thank you. I watched it on my phone. And then I looked at everything up about Kavanaugh and just watched people begin to people's heads popping all over the country. This guy is about as vanilla as it gets. And he's recognized as a fucking, by sane people on the left as well. He's just recognized as the best candidate available, all right? That Amy Comey or whatever her name is, she's going to be, when Darth Vader finally goes away, that's who's going to he's going to replace a woman with a woman.
Who?
Donald. That
Gingrich? Not Gingrich. What the fuck's her name?
Ginsburg. When she goes away, that's when that other lady will get the job, and everyone's fucking heads will pop then because she's a strong right-wing woman. But this guy, doesn't he seem to you to be eminently qualified for the job?
I haven't read anything.
Oh, all right. So I will tell you
Probably.
and
I don't know.
You will believe me because I'm not. I'm not lying. I read up on the guy. He seems like a fucking swell chap. They're concerned because he had some problems with the pre-existing conditions part of the American Care Act or whatever, Affordable Care Act. So that's all they really got. For some reason, he feels that the whole Obama thing, the whole Obamacare, Affordable Care Act is unconstitutional, but it's just not. It probably will never get there. And you know what I mean?
It's so outside of my...
yeah, I don't understand that shit.
Well, no. I mean, you would have to spend every waking hour trying to understand what the Affordable Care Act actually says. So,
you would have to read it first of all, and not just have your fucking clerks read it.
And
You'd
understand
have to read it. Yeah.
You have to understand what
and that would take some doing.
Now, the more I think about it, I think it's insane to not have national health care.
Well, yeah, you've always been a proponent of that. As long as everyone has a little skin in the game as well.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I mean, you get sick and you don't have any fucking health insurance and you're just going to
wither away.
Die. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy to me. And
this is why you are not a right-wing nut, Joe.
Well, and the other thing is that, so what you're saying is you love insurance companies. All these people that don't want any kind of...
Insurance companies, the second root of all evil other than fucking lawyers, by the way.
Yeah, no, they're in the same boat.
Insurance
they're just as evil as lawyers.
Well, they all have lawyers. So.
Right.
And lawyers have insurance, so there it is.
So I think that the idea that... I know the government isn't anybody's pal. And the idea of the government running it, but maybe it could be like the fucking post office, and everybody brags on the post office because they never make any money, but you try to be the fucking post office, you can't make any money.
The U.S. Postal Service is the ninth wonder of the world.
Well, and I believe that because...
It's fucking amazing.
Because, all these cunts get on there, well, how come they can't compete with FedEx and UPS? Because they have to deliver the fucking mail, you dumb cunt.
Do you know what a stamp costs for a regular letter?
It's 49 or 50 cents.
It should be 50 cents.
I think 50 cents?
I think it's 42.
No. It's more than that. The last stamps I bought, I think, because I buy those stamps that last forever.
It might be 49. It is a miracle that no other fucking Western, modern, first world country. What does a stamp cost in the United States?
Here's a summary from Detroit Free Press. It might be called a forever stamp, but its price is anything but.
49.
The cost of mailing a 1-ounce first-class letter will jump from 47 cents to 49 cents.
So it's 47 right now. You were right. It's 49.
So I thought it had been 49 for a while. They have to mail everything. So they have to have...
we come up with timely fucking subjects, don't we?
We have to hit every fucking mailbox. And I'm not talking in a city. I'm talking about all over the country.
Yeah.
So...
Mayberry RFD, son.
I mean, there's all kinds of like fucking rural acts that make, it's like the same as discrimination. You can't say to somebody that lives 100 miles down a dirt road
that you can't get your mail.
Right. So they have to bring them the fucking mail.
Although in that situation, they often leave the mail in a box on the main road. But
well, yeah, but I mean, still, you gotta, so your mail route, you drive 400 miles and drop off mail to 9 houses.
Yeah.
And I think there's routes like that.
Yeah, there might be, right?
Not in the West, sure there are.
I've
been on roads like that.
Yeah, they just fucking.
Although people tend to live somewhat community.
Someday that'll all be done, by the way, too. That's going to be done. It's amazing how much
No, I think it'll be automated. You're going to have a fucking car just pull up to the mailbox and spit the shit in.
Yeah.
We'll take the people out of it. And then the next big thing is going to be a big debate. See, we're United States is fucked because not only do we don't have the health insurance, but now the robots are going to start replacing a lot of people, and we're going to have to discuss the universal defined income.
Yeah.
Universal defined, I don't know. I forget what it's called. Where everybody gets a fucking check because all of the jobs, meaning Bill Gates actually put it a pretty good way the other day, or at least I read that he put it a good way, is that what they're talking about is a company's going to have to pay, okay, you're going to replace a human with your robot. Now you have to pay taxes on that robot to pay for the human that you displaced.
Sure.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it all gets back to, and people go, oh, well, that's fucking crazy. You know, it's all about competition. And, well, you can't have 11 people. And believe me, there are 11 people. They would watch everyone die, and they would feel well within their right that they deserve it.
Right.
Because they're working 18 hours a day, and they're greedy. I don't think anybody can underestimate the power of greed.
Yeah.
But you're going to take so many people just with the driverless shit. You know, if they get into driverless trucking, there's something like 10 or 15% of the jobs are with people driving.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you get rid of the trucks,
the
and the
aforementioned Uber, never mind the fucking.
Yeah, if you get rid of all the fucking cars,
I mean,
and
are
trucks,
the Teamsters going to let that happen? I mean, how's their fucking lobby
you're gonna
hand doing?
A lot of people are gonna be fucked, you know, and
well, they'll get that universal fucking check. Universal defined income.
I always fuck it up. It's universal
defined income
benefit.
Yeah.
Income fucking thing.
That's probably a thing in the future. It ain't going to happen in our lifetime, Joe.
Well, because life becomes, look, we've gotten so good at producing food, and things really do get better and better, and the technology's crazy. And I think we'll be a victim of our own technology. I think that's how, I don't see another 250 years in this country.
Yeah.
And I'm not to even be morbid, I just don't see it. I think that the technology will end up becoming, it'll become conscious and say, what a bunch of fucking assholes, and
just do away with everybody.
Yeah. Take over. And
what a cynical fucking view on the world.
It's not cynical. It's kind of, that's what Elon Musk thinks. He says there's a 5% chance that it's not going to happen.
Wow. That's pretty wacky.
And we're talking about a very optimistic guy.
Yeah.
All right. Are we done?
Well, you just mentioned that we're getting good at producing food. I'd like to go home and produce some food on my plate into my belly.
That's what I want to do.
I'm going to go home and eat some meat and some lettuce because that's all I eat right now. God damn it. I haven't had a drink in almost 3 weeks, Joe.
Congratulations.
Fucking crazy, right?
Oh, it's wonderful.
My fucking marijuana consumption, however, has
gone way up.
It's right up there. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, that's good.
Not till I get home, though. I don't smoke during the day at all. So,
all right, man.
Anyway, I'm Al. That's Joe. Thank you. This was show number 63.
Tell a friend.
Believe it or not, tell a friend how much you like to listen to us, or what a huge idiot we are.
Yeah.
Or idiots we are. Whatever. Nice English.
Whatever you want to do.
I'm running out of steam. Joe, I'll see you tomorrow night.
Hey, buddy.